Here is something your doctor has probably never said to you out loud. The healthy habit you've been following your entire life, drinking plenty of water every day, could be the exact reason you're dragging yourself to the bathroom at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes 4 or 5 times a night. And it's not how much you're drinking that's the problem. It's something far more specific, far more fixable, and almost nobody is talking about it. I'm Dr. Richard Ben, a practicing urologist with over 24 years of experience. I've treated thousands of patients, men and women, most of them over 60, who came into my clinic worn down, sleep-deprived, and absolutely convinced that something was seriously wrong with their bladder. And the honest truth, the vast majority of them had nothing wrong with their bladder at all. They simply had nobody teach them how to work with their body instead of against it. In my previous video, I walked you through the 5 warning signs that your gut may be leaking toxins into your bloodstream, and the response was overwhelming. Today, we're going even further. Because what I'm about to share with you touches your sleep, your heart, your kidneys, and your quality of life every single night you're alive. A landmark 2019 study out of Nagasaki University in 2019 study out of Nagasaki University and published in the last decade found that targeted changes to the timing of fluid intake alone reduced nighttime bathroom trips by a staggering 40% in adults over the age of 65. 40%. No prescription, no surgery, no expensive specialist visits, just a smarter, more informed relationship with water. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something directly. How many times are you waking up at night to use the bathroom? Drop your number in the comments right now. And if you're over 60, mention that too. You might be genuinely surprised how many people are lying awake in the same situation tonight. I'm going to walk you through the 3 most powerful hydration habits I teach my patients, ranked from foundational all the way to genuinely life-changing. And I'm warning you right now, by the time we reach number 1, you will understand something about your own body that most people never figure out in their entire lives. It is the opposite of what you have been told, and it has nothing to do with your bladder. Don't skip ahead. Let's start with number 3. This one stops almost every new patient in their tracks the first time I explain it. Your kidneys are not passive filters sitting quietly in your back. They are dynamic, rhythmic, time-sensitive organs that actually behave differently depending on the hour of day. During daylight hours, your kidneys are running at full capacity, filtering blood rapidly, producing urine at a high rate, keeping your body in balance. But as the evening arrives and your body begins preparing for sleep, a hormone called vasopressin, also known as antidiuretic hormone, begins rising in your bloodstream. Vasopressin is your body's internal sleep signal for the kidneys. It tells them to slow down urine production, concentrate what little urine is being made, and let your bladder rest through the night. This is how your body was designed. The problem is when you drink a large volume of fluid in the 2 to 3 hours before bed, you overwhelm that vasopressin signal. Your kidneys ignore the instruction to slow down. Urine keeps flowing. Your bladder fills faster than your brain's sleep center can suppress the urge to go. And you're awake again. A 2020 study from the University of Toronto, published in the Journal of Urology, followed 412 adults with documented nocturia and found that those who implemented a structured fluid cutoff 2 to 3 hours before bedtime reduced their average nighttime bathroom visits from 2.8 per night down to just 1.6, a 43% improvement. A separate 2018 study from Maastricht University Medical Center in the Netherlands confirmed the same finding. Evening fluid restriction produced a 38% reduction in nocturnal urine output in participants aged 60 and above. One of my patients, I'll call her Mahi, a 68-year-old retired school teacher from Ohio, came to me exhausted, getting up 4 times every night. When we looked at her evenings, she was drinking herbal tea, water, and juice, right up until she turned off the lamp. We set a simple 7:30 p.m. fluid cutoff based on her 10:30 p.m. bedtime. Within 3 weeks, she was down to 1 nighttime void. She sat in my office and told me she felt like herself again for the first time in years. Now here's why age makes this even more urgent. After 60, your body's ability to produce vasopressin begins measurably declining. A 2017 study from the University of Amsterdam found that adults over 65 produce up to 30% less vasopressin at night compared to people in their 30s and 40s. This means that even 2 or 3 modest glasses of fluid in the evening, an amount your younger body handled without blinking, can now tip your bladder well past its threshold. This is not disease, this is biology. But it is biology you can absolutely work with starting tonight. Here's how to implement this immediately. Identify your target bedtime, then count back 2.5 hours. That is your last fluid moment of the day. Set a gentle phone reminder if it helps. Your final drink should be small, no more than 6 ounces, and it should not be caffeinated or alcoholic. Both caffeine and alcohol directly interfere with vasopressin function and will amplify your nighttime output, regardless of how little you drink. This habit pairs powerfully with number 2, because number 2 is about what you're drinking before that cutoff, and what you may be consuming without realizing it is silently setting your bladder on fire. Coming up, I'll name the hidden bladder irritants that most people consume every single day. And one of them is almost certainly in your kitchen right now. Number 2 is where your entire relationship with water gets rewired, and this is the part most people never see coming. The majority of patients I see are not drinking too much water overall. Many of them are actually mildly dehydrated. The problem is not the volume, it's the distribution. They drink very little in the morning, a moderate amount around lunch, and then spend the afternoon and evening trying to catch up, flooding their system with fluid precisely when their kidneys are trying to wind down for the night. This pattern is physiologically backward, and it is one of the primary drivers of nocturia in otherwise completely healthy adults. Here's the mechanism. Your kidneys process fluid most efficiently during the active, upright, alert hours of the day, roughly 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. During this window, your body's sodium regulation, aldosterone levels, and renal blood flow are all optimized for high-volume processing. If you consume the bulk of your daily fluid, which for most adults should fall somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 liters during the morning and early afternoon, your kidneys process it cleanly and efficiently. Your bladder fills and empties normally throughout the day, and by the time evening arrives, your body has already done its work. What remains in your bladder at bedtime is genuinely minimal. A 2021 clinical trial from Seoul National University Hospital, published in Neurology and Urodynamics, took 320 nocturia patients and divided them into 2 groups. One group drank water without any timing guidance. The other consumed 70% of their daily fluid before 2 p.m. After 8 weeks, the timed group reported a 47% reduction in nighttime voids. The untimed group saw only a 9% improvement. A 2019 study from Keio University School of Medicine in Tokyo showed that this front-loaded hydration approach also reduced mean nocturnal urine volume by 35% in men aged 55 to 75. I want to tell you about Robert, a 71-year-old retired engineer who came to me after 2 solid years of waking up 3 to 4 times every night. He was convinced the problem was his prostate. And while we did address some mild prostate enlargement, the real discovery came from a simple 48-hour fluid diary we had him keep. He was drinking fewer than 400 milliliters before noon, and then nearly a full liter between 6 and 9 p.m. We flipped his schedule entirely. A large glass of water first thing in the morning. Consistent, steady hydration through the day. A firm stop at 7 p.m. Within 6 weeks, Robert was down to 1 nighttime void, from an average of 3.5. His sleep score on his smartwatch improved by 28 points. For those of you over 65, this front-loading strategy becomes even more critical. As we age, our thirst sensation weakens, a well-documented phenomenon confirmed in research from the University of California, San Francisco, and replicated many times since. This means older adults frequently underdrink in the morning because they don't feel thirsty, then unknowingly overcompensate later in the day when routine or habit nudges them toward the kitchen. Breaking that cycle is one of the most powerful and immediate changes you can make for your sleep. Here is how to start tomorrow morning. Before coffee, before your phone, drink a full 8-ounce glass of water. Then aim for 2 more glasses before noon. Set an 11 a.m. alarm if you need the nudge. After lunch, begin tapering off gradually. By 5 p.m., shift to small sips only. It costs nothing. It requires no prescription. And when you layer it on top of the evening cutoff from number 3, the effect is synergistic. Your kidneys receive the volume they need early, and then receive the signal to rest that they need at night. But here's what almost no one in medicine is talking about, and what I personally consider the most important discovery in nocturia management in the last decade. Number 1 has nothing to do with when you drink. nothing to do with how much you drink. It's about something happening inside your body while you sleep, something you have almost certainly never once considered. And it's the reason some people do everything right and still wake up at night. Number 1. I want your full attention for this, because in 24 years of practice, this single concept has changed more outcomes for more patients than anything else I have ever used. And every time I explain it for the first time, I watch the same expression cross my patient's face: complete disbelief, followed immediately by recognition. Here it is. For many adults, particularly those over 60, waking up at night to urinate is not primarily a bladder problem. It is a fluid redistribution problem. Here's what's happening inside your body. Throughout the day, if you consume a moderate to high sodium diet, which the average American does, taking in nearly 400 milligrams daily according to the CDC, fluid quietly accumulates in the soft tissues of your lower body, particularly your legs and ankles. This is called peripheral edema. It may be subtle enough that you never notice it. No visible swelling, no discomfort, just fluid sitting there held in place by gravity. Then you lie down. The moment you become horizontal, gravity releases its hold on that pooled fluid. It begins redistributing upward through your body. It re-enters your circulation, travels to your kidneys, gets filtered, and lands directly in your bladder, often within 60 to 90 minutes of you falling asleep. This is why so many people feel perfectly comfortable going to bed and then find themselves suddenly urgently awake less than 2 hours later with no warning. A remarkable 2017 study published in the Journal of Urology by researchers at Nagasaki University enrolled 321 participants and had them make just one change: reduce daily salt intake from an average of 10.7 grams to 8 grams. That modest reduction alone produced a 25% decrease in nighttime voids from 2.3 nightly trips down to 1.7. A follow-up study from the same institution published in 2020 showed that combining salt reduction with afternoon leg elevation produced a combined 52% reduction in nocturnal urinary volume. A staggering result from 2 zero-cost interventions. This is where everything we've already discussed converges into something truly powerful. When you front-load your hydration before 2 p.m., you minimize fluid consumption in the afternoon. When you lower your sodium, you reduce the amount of fluid your tissues retain during the day. And when you add a firm evening cutoff, you send your kidneys into the night with almost nothing left to process. These 3 strategies don't just add up, they multiply each other. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 76-year-old woman who had been waking up 4 to 5 times every single night for over 3 years. She had tried 2 different medications. She had completed pelvic floor therapy. Nothing had given her lasting relief. When she came to my clinic, I ordered a 24-hour urine collection and a detailed dietary recall. Her sodium intake was over 4,000 milligrams per day, and her nighttime urine output was 68% of her total daily urine volume. That is a textbook presentation of nocturnal polyuria driven entirely by fluid redistribution from the legs. We brought her sodium down to under 2,300 milligrams. We added a daily 30 to 45-minute period of leg elevation in the afternoon, and we combined that with the hydration strategies we'd already discussed. Within 8 weeks, Dorothy's nighttime voids had dropped to 1 to 2 per night. Her total nocturnal urine output fell by 44%. She cried at her follow-up appointment. 3 years of suffering, addressed by understanding what her body was actually doing. After 60, this mechanism becomes dramatically more pronounced for 2 clear reasons. First, the venous walls in the legs lose elasticity with age, making it easier for fluid to accumulate in soft tissue during the day. Second, the heart's pumping efficiency often decreases slightly as we get older, meaning less fluid is naturally returned from the legs during normal daytime activity. Research from Johns Hopkins University, published in 2016, confirmed that adults over 65 with even mild cardiovascular aging show significantly higher rates of nocturnal polyuria from this exact positional fluid shift compared to younger adults. Here is your action plan starting today. First, spend 1 honest week tracking your sodium intake. Read every label. The biggest hidden sources are bread, canned soups, deli meats, and restaurant meals, not the salt shaker on your table. Aim to get below 2,300 milligrams daily. If you can reach 1,500, even better. Second, if you spend long stretches of the afternoon sitting at a desk, watching television, reading, elevate your legs for 30 to 45 minutes before dinner. A pillow under your calves is all it takes. This simple position shift allows your circulatory system to return that pooled fluid to your bloodstream and kidneys while you are still awake and upright. Your bladder handles it before midnight instead of at 2 a.m. Third, tie all of it together with your morning hydration habit and your evening cutoff window. This is one unified system, and the patients who implement all three consistently see results that genuinely move them to tears. Let's bring it all home. Number 3. Set your fluid cutoff 2 to 3 hours before bed. Your kidneys need that window to wind down alongside the rest of your body. And if you're over 60, your vasopressin system needs that buffer now more than ever. Number 2. Front load your hydration. Drink the majority of your water before 2 p.m. when your kidneys are physiologically primed to handle it, and your bladder can do its job during normal waking hours. And number 1, the one that changes everything. Reduce your sodium and elevate your legs in the afternoon. Stop the silent, invisible flood of fluid that migrates from your legs directly to your bladder the moment you lie down at night. Here is what I most want you to hear. Better sleep, better bladder health, and genuine nighttime comfort are absolutely within your reach at any age. These are not solutions reserved for the young. They are biology-backed strategies that work precisely because they work with your aging body, not against it. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 are you starting first? And what is your biggest challenge when it comes to waking up at night? Leave it in the comments. I read every single one, and your question may become the subject of my next video. If this video helped you, hit the like button right now. It tells YouTube this information is reaching the people who need it most. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this with someone you love who is losing sleep every single night. And leave your thoughts below. Your body is not broken. It has simply been waiting for the right information. And now, you have it.